Welcome back, everyone, to the High Tempo Sports Podcast, episode 178. Today is Tuesday. Yeah, I had to think about that one for a sec. It's Tuesday. We're back for another weekly episode. Quickly, before we get into today's episode, as always, go check out our last episode. We had Christian Booher back on the podcast. Basically, once you're on a second time, you're like a member of
you're a regular.
Exactly.
Like if we did merch, he would have his own merch at this point. But we don't do merch like that.
Hey, be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, we are working
figure that out.
We're slightly working on
exactly. Like at some point there will be some merch
eventually.
But yeah, go check out the last episode we did with him. We did a Lions free agency recap. Unfortunately, some huge Lions news came out the night of that podcast after we posted it that we are obviously going to talk about today. But it was a really fun episode. We talked about all the signings, and obviously Chris has a very more detailed look at the Lions than we do just as fans. So it's fun to get that perspective of everything. So go check out that episode, and obviously go check us out on everything, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. You know the drill.
Yeah, he's super funny, and he's really, really entertaining. He talks real well. Talks real well.
Yeah. So let's get into today's episode. I just want to mention this quickly. I was talking to Easton about this before the podcast, but you guys notice how we write our stuff down on notebooks. You know, we're old fashioned. We don't have the laptops, we don't have the crazy setups. We just got the notebooks to look at stuff. I'm on my last page in my notebook here. It's a sad day because there's a lot of good things and fun things to look back at in this notebook.
Well, let's think. What's the first episode on there?
I think I said 112 or something.
And so there's what, 70?
Yeah, 112. This is 178, so 60 some episodes.
Yeah, all in that notebook.
And this is my third notebook. So I have a notebook in my room that I'm going to use next, but it's just it's not the same, man.
No, but it'll kind of be cool to get that fresh start. It's like,
oh yeah,
it's like a new era of the podcast, and you're much better. I mentioned this. You're way more organized than I am as a human, and your memory is also way better than mine. Right? I mean, it's probably been demonstrated on this podcast often.
Yeah, probably.
How much better your memory is than mine. But it is so cool to be able to look back, and like we were just doing before the podcast started, we're looking back at old lists when nobody listened to this ever, and we will start pulling those out.
We had better ideas back then than we do now.
Way better.
They're such good ideas, but it's just hard to redo them because we've already done them. But we might as well. This summer, we're probably gonna go back in that old notebook and take out a lot of our old. So if you're a real OG, then you can skip that episode if you want, or it's just our updated version of it. So let's get into the podcast, though. Right now, we are watching the World Baseball Classic Championship between Team US and Team Japan. We don't talk a lot about baseball on this show, but baseball is coming soon. I think 2 weeks. I think it's only 9 days to opening day. 9 or 10 days till opening day. We're almost there. I was talking to Easton last night. The semifinal game between Japan and Mexico was such an unreal game. A lot of MLB talent on the field, obviously, between both teams here. So fun game right now. Japan is up 2-1. I think we're in the third or fourth inning. It's on commercial right now. So yeah, well, hopefully by the time you're hearing this, Team US is back-to-back World Baseball Classic champs.
I'm such a terrible baseball fan because I'm not. I'm not even the level of casual. I'm so far below that. I don't know who this is pitching. Freeland? Never heard of the guy.
I honestly don't really know him either. But Team US is weird though because the pitching staff is not the stars. They don't have many stars because the teams don't allow the pitchers to go over and participate in this.
And we see why.
They do, and they're on a pitch count where a lot of guys have already got the starter for this game was Merrill Kelly in the championship game for Team US. Merrill Kelly is a solid starter in the MLB. Nothing special. He's good, but he's definitely not elite by any means. So,
and who was the reliever that just got hurt?
Just now?
No, not just now.
Oh, Edwin Diaz. Edwin Diaz did, which was really unfortunate. He got hurt in the celebration. Yeah,
so season ending. He's not going to play the whole year.
He's the best closer in the MLB.
That's terrible.
Very terrible. He's the one that the music that he walks out to.
It's the trump. Oh, okay, not that one.
No, it is the trumpet.
The trumpets. Yeah,
that's him.
Oh, gotcha.
And he's done, which is just sucks.
Oh, that sucks.
It does suck. So, but yeah, we're watching that right now. Hopefully, Ohtani's up to bat. We need to see Ohtani pitch against Mike Trout in this game. It needs to happen at some point. I don't know if Ohtani's allowed to come in as a reliever. I think so. I really hope that happens because that's something we need to
strikes
see.
Out.
Just struck out.
Just watching the baseball.
All right, let's actually get into the podcast though. So CJ Gardner-Johnson is a Detroit Lion. Sunday night, Brad Holmes signs him to a 1-year, $8 million contract with only $6 million guaranteed. Another great job done by Brad Holmes. I mean, he continues to just make amazing signings and amazing moves this whole offseason. And CJ Gardner-Johnson is excited to be here. He talked in his press conference yesterday. He was really excited. Him and Aaron Glenn and him and Dan Campbell spent the first 3 years of CJ's career together in New Orleans, which is awesome because he already has a connection with those guys.
He said him and Aaron Glenn's relationship goes further back than that.
Really?
Like they knew each other when he was a high schooler.
Really? That's dope.
Like they have a long time relationship. He said he's been a role model to him and really helped him out throughout his entire football career. What a steal, Brad Holmes. What a dub.
What a job. And the CJ Gardner-Johnson whole free agency has been a weird one because he was offered a deal by Philly when they said Darius Slay was going to be traded. CJ Gardner-Johnson and his team declined the offer, and that's when they decided to re-sign Slay and James Bradbury. And apparently CJ Gardner-Johnson's agent underestimated his value on the market, and that's why he was still available. He was a guy that, he was tied for the most picks in the league last year. He's only 25 years old, coming off his 4th season in the NFL. So, that's a guy who should be on high demand, multi-year contract type guy. He wasn't.
So they overestimated his value.
Yes, I say underestimated.
Yeah, you said underestimated.
Yeah. They thought that he was worth more than what he was, and by the time that they, realized that, it was a lot of teams didn't really have the money that they were looking for, so they had to settle for another prove-it deal, which obviously no one likes. Playing on a prove-it deal is nothing that anyone wants to because you're not comfortable. You want to be comfortable for a couple years. But as for Lions fans, it could be a good thing. It could be he's really got some more to prove to try and get a long-term deal, and I definitely could see a world where he balls out this year. Lions re-sign him to a multi-year deal. I mean, he's only 25 years old.
Last year was his career year. I mean, he was an all-pro safety last year. I don't see why he's not as good, if not better, this year. Again, he's on a prove-it deal, like you said. This guy has to come out and play well to get paid again. There's no excuse for him not to play well. I cannot wait to watch this new secondary play and just see how loaded we can really be. We just have so many great options now, and like Tracy Walker's back, and now it doesn't feel bad at all that we lost to Sean Elliott.
Exactly,
It's not even a worry. It's like, oh man, because if there was a second, we were like, oh man, it would have been kind of nice to resign him.
Especially for the price that he went for.
$1.7 million
exactly.
Or whatever.
So, but CJ Gardner-Johnson is a much more versatile defensive back that we can use. He was a cornerback. He's played some sub linebacker. He plays inside. He's a nickel corner. Last year, he played the nickel a lot for Philly. So, I imagine a defense this year where we have our 2 new corners on the outside in Sutton and Mosley, or Sutton and Okudah if Mosley isn't ready to go. We still have Kirby and Tracy up top, and then we have CJ in this, role where he's kind of just all over the place, which he flourished in last year with Philly. He was all over the place for them, and look at the year that he had. So I'm super excited to see what he can do for this team, and I think I'm also excited to see how Jeff Okudah and Jerry Jacobs are going to respond to this, because Jeff Okudah's time with the Lions it could be coming to a halt here because clearly we've prioritized improving the defense over continuing to develop Okudah. Not saying he's not going to get any opportunity, but I'm excited to see how he responds to, try and prove that he still deserves to be on this team.
Yeah, and these are really good players that are coming in. I mean, Emmanuel Mosley was an all-pro corner before his injury. Cameron Sutton has been all-pro in his career, correct? Oh, never.
But he's a good corner.
Yeah, good corner. But these guys are people that Jeff Okudah can learn from and hopefully grow as a player. Maybe he grows into him. Maybe we sign him to a long-term contract in the future. But like you said, this could be kind of the end of the Jeff Okudah era in Detroit. How many more years until we have to re-sign him?
He's coming into his final year on his contract this year. And so that's why there was
and Swift.
Yeah, exactly. So there was a lot of talk about, and I doubt they pick up the 5th-year option on Okudah, but there was a lot of talk about cutting Jeff Okudah before this season, because he would save us, $10-some million because of he was such a high pick in the draft. But I mean, there is still a world where that happens, I guess, just because we have, signed these corners and maybe we want to draft one still and it saves us more money. I don't think it's going to happen because I don't think, Brad Holmes is going to do much else in this free agency. But I also didn't think we were going to sign CJ Gardner-Johnson. So, and then he restructures Romeo Okwara's contract on Monday morning to save $9 more million. So does that mean he's trying to squeeze the room to re-sign DJ Shark? Who knows? We'll see, but it's very exciting for the Lions.
I mean, it's incredible how great of an offseason we've had. It's felt like we haven't made one wrong move all offseason. It is incredible how much this team looks so good now, and everybody's expectations are now high for this team, which is scary, but I'm okay with. The way Paul described it yesterday, something has to go right for the Detroit sports teams in the next 3 years.
Right? You'd think.
There's like no way with the way we are all in this rebuild. I mean, the Tigers rebuild isn't exactly going well.
No.
But
and I guess actually restarting right now.
And I would guess the Pistons isn't necessarily going well yet.
I wouldn't say it's going. I mean, like, the Pistons is kind of weird.
They're like treading in the right direction.
Yeah, they're heading in the right direction.
We haven't seen anything yet.
Like they're at towards the end of the being bad part of the rebuild.
I hope so. I hope so.
It looks like that at least.
And then the Lions now are making all these new moves, and this new management has shown that they're good and they want to win, and they're doing all the right moves to win. Detroit sports is looking up, except for the Tigers. Oh, and shout out the Wings.
Yeah, Wings are doing good too. Yeah, every questionable move that Brad Holmes made in this offseason was immediately answered by a move that, like, okay, that makes sense. You know, obviously, like Jamal Williams, obviously Montgomery was signed before Williams signed with New Orleans, but just the fact that Jamal wasn't re-signed immediately was like a red flag. Like, what's going on? We signed David Montgomery. You know, it might get some backlash, but it is what it is. I think most fans are cool with it now. Deshaun Elliott, that was like the one thing that was like, really? We couldn't bring back Deshaun Elliott? Boom, we do this. And it's like, okay, that makes sense. And so if DJ Shark doesn't get re-signed, you know, maybe some fans can be like, why did DJ Shark not get signed? Boom, we're going to draft somebody probably. That it could be really good.
Probably taking Quentin Johnson.
Maybe. So it's going to be very exciting to see what goes down. I think right now would be a very fun time to talk about some futures bets on FanDuel. We're not sponsored by FanDuel, but that's just the one app that I use, so that's why we're using it. So
yeah, YKTV, you know the vibes. I learned what that meant today.
We sound like older people right now. So right now on FanDuel Sportsbook, 2024 Super Bowl prediction odds. The Detroit Lions have the... Sorry, I'm going to do some out loud counting here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th best odds to win the Super Bowl at plus 2,500. Obviously, that is something that is a little bit risky to bet on. For them to win the Super Bowl, that'd be quite the jump. However, if you're just thinking, maybe they can get to the Super Bowl, they just can't win the Super Bowl. We are tied for 4th best odds in the NFC to make the Super Bowl behind the 49ers, Philadelphia Eagles, Dallas Cowboys. Us and the New Orleans Saints are at plus 1,100, which the Saints they are not on that level with us. I get that division sucks, but so does our division, and we're better than the Saints.
Why are the Cowboys over us?
I mean, you know, they got Brandon Cooks. They were pretty good last year. Like,
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. I
get what you're saying.
Like we're better than the Cowboys.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, we're tied for 4th in the NFC. And then if you're just thinking, maybe I should just bet on them to win the division. Well, if you're looking for value,
don't do it.
You're not doing it because the Lions are heavily favored to win the NFC North this next year, plus 130 to win the NFC North, whereas the second highest team is the Minnesota Vikings at plus 310. So the bookies they know what's going on in Detroit.
I cannot wait for that to play out every weekend.
I used to pray for times like this, man. Like this is something that is like really exciting, but it's like, it's scary, you know, like Lions teams don't have expectations. Like my cousin Jared, shout out to my cousin Jared. He's probably listening to this right now. He was telling me, like, this is the most, like, expectations that a Lions roster's had since maybe the Barry days. Like, but think about it, though. When did Matt Stafford, Calvin Johnson, like, they were good. We had star players and stuff. Mm-hmm. But when did you come into a Lions season and be like, they should go on a run this year?
Yeah,
like they should win a playoff game.
Probably 2. I mean,
it was always just like you got to make the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like this team making the playoffs is like the bare minimum. Like this team should win the division. Like should.
Yeah, it didn't help that the Packers were so good for so long with Aaron Rodgers. So we always had to get into the playoffs as a wild card. It was never like we just got in the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
And now we're expected not get in, but to bust in and get to dominate and win the division. And like Minnesota still is a little scary though.
Oh yeah, they are.
Minnesota's definitely a little scary.
They definitely had to lose. You know, they had a lot of cap issues this offseason. They lost a lot of key members to their team. Obviously, the main star players are still there, but they definitely got worse this offseason in the team that no one trusted last year already. The Bears are definitely sneaky, but like
Yeah,
maybe.
Justin Fields would have to have a stellar year for me to really believe, and everything would have to work around him. The acquisition of DJ Moore, if it was like an elite QB wide receiver duo, they definitely are scary.
Yeah,
they could steal a couple games.
Let's talk about the NFL draft for a minute. I think we should do a initial mock draft. Like, it doesn't just a first, doesn't even have to be the whole first round, just like the first whatever. Coming up here, we can get Willie on for that. I think that would be fun. But today, Mel Kiper released his third mock draft, and he had some controversial Lions picks in the first round. He did have C.J. Stroud going first overall still to the Panthers, which we're going to get into that because that whole saga continues to be very interesting. But Mel Kiper had Jalen Carter going 6th overall to the Detroit Lions. This has been a weird topic, obviously, because he's such a good player, but he's had, the off-the-field issues. With the traffic incident and then his whole pro day incident, which is, I think, more even glaring to some teams. He still has Jalen Carter going at pick 6 to the Lions, which I don't know how I feel about it.
Somebody brought up a point to me today, and it was about his pro day. And somebody mentioned, is this a repercussion of what happened in the traffic incident? Maybe this is kind of changed his mindset, because when you watch him play, there was never anything there of character. It was just this guy who was a monster on the field, and somebody brought that up, and I think that's a very realistic thing that may have happened at pro day, where he just wasn't feeling it. He had a bad day that day, especially after what happened after winning the national championship. I could see you having a lot more bad days than good days in your next coming future. And you and I mentioned this. If there's a place that would treat him well and love him, it's Detroit. I don't know if I love it, but I can kind of see where everybody's coming from.
Yeah.
It almost seems like it originally wasn't a Dan Campbell guy, because you got to love the process. I think Dan Campbell's all about that. If you don't love the process, you probably won't make it in the league in general. You have to love every day, showing up to practice, hitting people. To be good at anything, you got to love the process. So I think that scares a lot of people, but also it's like Dan could save this guy, not that he needs to be saved.
I get what you're saying, though. He can turn things around for him, send him in the right direction.
Yes, yeah. And maybe that's the right idea. He's a monster. His tapes are crazy. He's blowing up double teams like it's nothing.
And it's one of the Lions' biggest needs is an interior. Not like we don't have any, but that's, what could really put this team over the edge here. So I don't know how I feel about it. Did he just send that out of here? He did just send that out of here. Japan takes a 3-1 lead over the U.S. in the bottom of the 4th here. This is going to get interesting.
Oh.
Darn.
Come on. Who hit that?
I did bet on the U.S., though, to win this game. So I saw one of the MLB guys I follow on Twitter bet $1,776 on the U.S. to win.
Nice. That's pretty
America.
Good. So are all these Japanese players... do they all play in the MLB?
No, only Ohtani, and then Yu Darvish is on this team, and then Lars Nootbaar, who I don't believe is he might be Japanese born, but they said he's speaks English and stuff. He plays in the MLB though too.
Gotcha. So does Japan have their own big time lead?
Yeah, they have their own big time lead, and there's this guy who I want to pull up his name because I'm gonna butcher it if I don't actually read it. But he was the one that hit the walk-off double last night against Mexico, and he broke the record in the Japanese league last year for home runs hit in a season. So he's really, really good, and he for sure should be over in the MLB. He plays third base. Let me pull him up real quick.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thought to imagine. Obviously, we see it with soccer. Obviously, MLS is the number one soccer league in the world.
Right.
But it's hard to imagine that there's another league that their star players can compete against
there
the
is
American.
Though.
And then what it is with Japan. And even we're seeing that with Euroball.
Yeah.
Some of these EuroLeague teams
oh, yeah, for sure.
are really competing with the US.
I'm pretty sure it's this guy right here. It's Murakami. Oh no, this is not him right here, but Murakami was the guy that is really good that doesn't play right now, but he's actually hit a home run in this game too. And then there's Matasaka Yoshida. He's just signed a huge contract to come over from Japan. He's playing for the Red Sox next year, got paid. He's on this team as well.
Do they not have to go through the draft process?
No, they don't, because they stayed that's what I was kind of confused about. I think once you hit a certain age or years played in that league, you just get to enter free agency. Gotcha. Basically.
That's awesome.
But there's this pitcher on Japan named Sasaki. I think Roki Sasaki is his name, and he's only 21, and he pitched yesterday for Japan. 20 out of his first 21 fastballs were all over 100 miles an hour. And he throws a deadly splitter too, like low 90s splitter, which is like unreal.
20 He's only 21. Out of your 21 fastballs over 100
as a starter.
That's crazy.
So like, I mean, he definitely is a guy that I don't know how it works, because I think they said if he wants to come and like sign with a team, he can't until like, you know, a couple more years. But he would get the ultimate bag. But I don't know about how the draft thing works. Like the whole international draft with baseball is it's a really weird situation. But it's just cool to see though, like that there's these elite players, you know, over there. So let's get back into this though. Where did we leave off with?
Jalen Carter.
Okay, yeah. So Jalen Carter was the 6th pick. And then the 18th pick was Michael Mayer, tight end out of Notre Dame, going to the Detroit Lions. So two controversial picks among Lions fans out of Mel Kiper Jr. I really don't think that Michael Mayer or a tight end is the play. It like would be the play. Obviously, if they did it, I'm going to hop on board, because the last time we drafted a controversial tight end pick, the guy was pretty good. I mean, obviously he's not on the team anymore, but he was a very good tight end. He still is a very good tight end. But I just feel like that's not what they're going to do. You know, I feel like they'd rather get depth at other positions, and we can have this rotating revolving door of tight ends next year, you know.
How deep did his mock draft go?
It was just a first round mock. Actually, it might have been longer, but I only saw the whole first round.
I don't think it's realistic that we take a tight end in the first round.
And I also don't like Mel Kiper either. Like, he just like be making like, he's one of them like take.
That was me.
Dudes.
That's a me comment. I just don't really like him either.
I don't. Like, he just, like, he makes these controversial picks in his mock drafts just so he can go on TV and, like,
say it,
bark about it. Yeah, exactly. Whereas, like, I do like Todd McShay a little bit more. I feel like his are more in depth. Daniel Jeremiah of NFL.com. He made another mock draft today. He's the guy that I probably is the most from reading. I didn't look at what his Lions one was, because I just saw this highlight. But he had Bryce Young going first overall to the Carolina Panthers, which that is something I haven't seen since the trade. So I thought we could look at the NFL draft odds as well, because those have been shifted. CJ Stroud was the heavy favorite to go first about a week or so ago. He's now only at minus 180 on FanDuel to go first overall, which is definitely,
what are these guys hearing?
It's definitely being shifted. Anthony Richardson was the second favorite for a while. He is not anymore. Bryce Young is at plus 130, and Anthony Richardson has fallen to plus 460 to be the first overall pick. So once again, Lions fans, there's a world where Anthony Richardson is there at 6 if you want him. You know,
and I do, and I'm now hopping on the board. This point had never crossed my mind, and I don't have a football mind. I don't think football. But they mentioned, you know, we do all this in the offseason. Jared Goff gets hurt day one of first game of the year. We are screwed. I mean, we don't want Nate Sudfeld to be the.
I honestly don't know if they'd put Richardson out there though, like that early. I mean, you'd have to, obviously, but like.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
I think you'd rather put Nate Sudfeld out there.
Yeah, no, you could be right, but at least you would have the option for the future.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point, but we have to address the backup QB.
Oh
position.
Yeah, for sure.
Like we have to have
like Christian said, like since we haven't yet, it definitely shows that they said that was one of the first things that Brad Holmes said about free agency when free agency opened was we are going to upgrade the backup quarterback position. Like that was one of their main needs. They haven't done it. A lot of the main backup names, are signed and are on other teams. Unless you think Carson Wentz is going to come back up for Jared Goff, went 1 and 2 in that draft. Like the quarterback might have to get drafted. So
I saw a mock, and it was probably just a fan mock, but it had us in the 5th round taking Hendon Hooker.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
I got no problem.
I guess, yeah, it doesn't really matter.
I definitely don't want if we're gonna take QB late, I don't want Stetson Bennett.
Yeah,
don't give me that guy. Give me Hooker.
But is the Lions' offense built for Stetson Bennett though?
Probably, probably.
No, I'm definitely joking. And then one last thing I wanted to look at. What was the other thing I wanted? Speaking of Stetson Bennett, you can bet on what round he is drafted in. Guess the highest odds round he will be drafted in.
I'm going to go with the 6th.
It is the 6th round at plus 245.
So money.
First round plus 6,500. I mean, the dude's a back-to-back champion quarterback.
Somebody's got to
value.
Him.
So, yeah, that's basically it right now for draft talk. Well, like I said, I think we should do a mock draft here pretty soon. I think it'd be fun to go over all of that. So, yeah. let's get into some basketball March Madness talk. What you've all been waiting for this past weekend. The Michigan State Spartans took down the Marquette Golden Eagles, I believe is their mascot. They took them down in an electric game. It was a fun game. Good old-fashioned basketball is what it was, and MSU won, and it was. I'm happy.
Marquette got so lucky that this game wasn't an absolute blowout.
Yeah.
Like, Marquette's, I don't like Shaka Smart. I think he's overrated. I think he's bad. Because, to me, to be a good coach, you have to win games in the tournament. That is the definition of a good coach, because the tournament is your one-day turnarounds. How do you game plan for this team? How do you beat them? How versatile are you as a coach? The dude doesn't win in the tournament like that.
Ever since his Cinderella run with VCU,
it's the only time he's ever done it.
Yeah,
and he won Coach of the Year this year, right?
He won Big East Coach of the Year.
Yeah. Dude is terrible. But for Michigan State to go 2 of 16 from the 3-point line, and you still lost by 9. You are so lucky that they didn't hit 4 or 5 more threes. You had your chance to beat him, and he just blew it. What an oh man.
Yeah, I mean, Marquette turned the ball over an absurd amount. Michigan State would go on runs. We're coming down, miss a 3, come down, miss a 3, come down, miss a 3, and it's like, oh my God, like. This game's going to get out of hand, and then Marquette would come down and just turn it over, and it's like, okay, like they pass the ball, and the dude's standing out of bounds. Like, it was like silly turnovers, so it was like, you can look at it both ways. You can look at it as like, wow, MSU, like, didn't make a single 3 and still won the game, like that's, we barely snuck by. Or I think you look at it the way that you said, where it's like, MSU should have won this game by 20 points. I mean, we're a top 5 3-point shooting team in the entire nation this year.
Absolutely.
So it's just like... For the fact that MSU, I saw that they, in games, I don't know if it was 3-pointers made or 3-pointers percentage, but coming into the tournament, they're 0-5 in games where they shot below
whatever.
X,
Yep.
And both of the first 2 games, they shot below that in this tournament, and they won both of them. I think it was games where they made 5 or less threes.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
And they're like 19-4 when they make more than 5 threes.
And they have not won a game when they make less, and they did. Mike Trout is up here with a runner on. Like, come on, Mike Trout, just do something here for us. But yeah, I keep getting distracted by it.
Do something for me.
But yeah, it was a really good game. Tyson Walker comes up clutch once
God.
again. He has ice in his veins. Joey Hauser got emotional after the game because the whole crowd was chanting, Joey, Joey. Obviously, with his whole old team, Marquette. He thought that was really cool. AJ Hogard continues to be a phenomenal leader and floor general. And Matty Sissoko has stepped up in these two first tournament games. So MSU, this is one of those teams that really I do think can make a run. I'm not just saying that because it's my team. Obviously, I want them to go on a run. But it's going to be a tough game on Thursday against Kansas State.
These MSU guards are giving teams hell. These other teams have never seen guards like this. Between Jaden Akins and Hogard being the strongest 2 guards that probably most of these teams have ever seen.
And you have Tyson Walker.
Yeah, and I haven't even gotten to the quickest fast hands, Tyson Walker. Those 3 are clamps.
I mean, it's the best backcourt in college basketball. It has to be, right? For a tandem of 3, because I know it's like the backcourt is the shooting guard and the point guard, but like Akins is a guard.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I mean defensively, they just impact the game so much. That's the difference between State and the rest of these teams. They clamp up everybody. I mean, Boogie Ellis has been holding him to 6 points. That's a 20-point per game score, and it wasn't like Jaden Akins was the only guy with the matchup the whole game. Like, they clamped his ass as a collective. And that is so beneficial to toss a new, energized defender at a great player over and over again and just rotating the 3. It is hell to play against that. And I can imagine how frustrating it is. Oh, shit, yeah. Oh, man, Hogard's off me. Oh, Jaden Akins, here he comes.
Yeah, and even Tyson Walker is a pesty defender. Obviously, he's a little bit smaller, but...
He's in your grill.
Exactly. He's still a quick defender with fast hands, like you said. So... Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun run for this MSU team. I think we have, potentially what it takes if Malik Hall can play at a higher level. I think he's like the true X factor. I think just because ever since he got injured early this year, he really hasn't been the same player. He wasn't making shots against Marquette, but he was affecting the game definitely for sure. He had that offensive rebound at the end of the game that really got Izzo hyped up. And that it's just fun to see Tom Izzo having so much fun with this team because, it's always the talk of Tom Izzo, when's he going to retire? This whole group of old-fashioned coaches are all retiring, basically. Yeah. Izzo is not retiring anytime soon. I mean, he's recruiting at the highest level he ever has. They've made the Sweet 16. He's having fun, which that's the most important part about it, because that's what he's always said. The day I stop having fun, that's when I'm calling it quits, right then and there. He's clearly having fun. So he's not going anywhere. And I'm just happy that this whole Tom Izzo, AJ Hoggard thing from non-MSU fans is finally put to rest, because everyone on the outside looking in thinks this is an issue and AJ Hoggard is a problem, or Tom Izzo is these guys have been doing that since the day that AJ Hoggard stepped on campus.
People who have never had that kind of relationship with a coach and that type of intense relationship where all you two care about is winning, don't get it. And a lot of people have never had that relationship. And that's not like saying like
Trout strikes out. Sorry.
You didn't play at this like high level. It's just saying you don't have that intensity. It builds something there because it just makes you fight that much harder. And that's what we're seeing with the state team. They are tougher than everybody.
Oh yeah.
That's
what the Big Ten does.
A couple of my AAU players after my last practice, they went down and they started watching the Michigan State game. So I went down there with them and watched it. And they said, I can't believe, you're a Michigan fan. I can't believe you're not like Tom Izzo's #1 fan with how intense he is. I was like, I love Izzo. Yeah. I can't. You can't, as a basketball purist, dislike what he does with his team and the relationship he has with his players. You can't dislike it as a realist.
And Hoggard's like different because obviously Izzo gets after his players. There's been, there's always like a guy that he really goes at like every year. It was Aaron Henry. Obviously that was the whole viral one that, like that people tried canceling Tom Izzo.
Yeah, people were like, he's abusive.
Yeah, exactly. And then Henry was like, nah,
like he's a dog.
Marcus Bingham and Gabe Brown both were two guys that Izzo really got after a couple years ago. And then Hoggard's different though because Hoggard goes right back at Tom Izzo. No player I've really seen. Like obviously some guys will do it. They'll talk back
occasionally.
But Hoggard like will yell at Tom Izzo, and that's what like Izzo was like. He goes like, this guy might like want to win more than I do. Like it's like no one has really challenged me that way, but he's like, I love it. Like I let him do it because I know that he cares.
And that's what it is. And when you realize you're tough enough to deal with that level of intensity and you can go to the podium and go, nah, it doesn't bug me. I'm not soft. And you can look at people who are like, oh, I couldn't handle that. And say, nah, you're just weak.
Or they're trying to tell you that you can't handle that.
And you're like, nah, like I feel great. Like I love this man. That's where it even builds on itself even more. Because then it's I'm not like everybody else.
We got
I'm
each other's
different.
back. Yeah.
Like, and I love it. It's so hard not to enjoy.
So before we talk about this game on Thursday and our predictions for all the other games, let's take a look at the high tempo bracket group and see the update on that. By the way, gotta say, I picked the Miami over Indiana women's upset yesterday or on Sunday. I will say it was not influenced by any
outside
people on whatever teams. Had nothing to do with that. So my women's bracket it's actually not doing good, but I picked that upset though. So anytime you can pick an upset in the women's bracket, like you got to give yourself a pat on the back.
I can't believe there's 2 1 seeds upset already. Yeah. I mean that's crazy.
That's pretty wild.
That their March Madness. That's pretty crazy.
Plus, the craziest thing is, dude, you can bet on, at least this was before the round of, or this is in the round of 32. There was a option on FanDuel, bet on South Carolina versus the field to win the national championship, and South Carolina was like minus 200 or something.
That's insane.
You can bet on any other team to win it, and it's at plus odds. Like that.
That's crazy.
Pretty wild. Hopefully the Cavender twins could do it.
Who?
The Cavender twins.
Oh, I've never heard of them.
Oh, yeah, I don't know either. So let's hop into the high tempo bracket group. In first, it's loading right now. Me and Easton's, if you guys listen to that podcast, it's done for. It actually terrible. Is in 11th place. Well, there's a lot in 11th place. Tied for 11th. But the max is just absolutely like falling
980?
Down. 1040. Oh. Not very good. We're at 400, right? Which isn't bad, but St. Mary's is done for. Let's see the Final Four, though. Like, is there still a world where we can get... Okay, yeah, we have Bama, Michigan State, and Houston.
Hey,
that's a likely scenario.
Yeah,
we just have St. Mary's winning the whole freaking thing. So let's look at the leaderboard here. My cousin Boo, shout out to Boo. He is in first place here, and it is not even close. This dude is at 540 right. He picked 14 out of the 16 Sweet 16 teams.
He's a dog, man.
How do you do that?
He's a dog. Aren't like 3 of his Final Four out, though?
2 of his final, because he got 14 out of 16, right, in the Sweet 16. But the 2 wrong are in the Final Four, and one of them, Arizona, was in the championship for him. But, like, you know, picking FAU, picking Michigan State, picking all of these. Like, it's just what a great job from Boo. And he still, despite having those 2 out, I mean, Houston is his champion. So if they do win the whole thing, like,
he's got a great bracket.
He has a 70-point lead on everyone right now. So, like, he's got some room to shed here. But don't move too fast, because Easton is in second place here, and his bracket name is The Winner. So
yes, sir.
We know which one's going to win. At 470 points with a high max of 1630. All of your Final Four teams are alive still, right?
Yeah, do I have the highest max?
Oh, no, you had St. Mary's in the Final Four.
Yes, I did.
Well,
yes, I did.
Went all in on St. Mary's. I'm checking to see if you have the highest max. I think you do. There's a couple teams that are like kind of close, but yeah, you're the only one in the 1600 range. At
like, I definitely have a wild pick for my champion, so like it could very well end up.
And let the viewers know which
Creighton is my champion that I have picked, and I'm the only person in that bracket challenge with Creighton because it's. I mean, they're a 6 seed. I don't expect it. And it was
could. You never know.
I made that wild pick thinking maybe this is the year for it. I don't
playing Princeton this round.
Yeah, they're playing really well too. Like, and I don't think a lot of other schools play that well of defense. Like Bama don't play no defense.
No,
they're
just
terrible
everybody
defensively.
Yeah,
and I like Creighton.
Bama Creighton could be a really fun.
Oh yeah, it could be
different types of basketball there. Yeah, so you have 7 out of your 8 Elite 8. You have Bama Creighton, FAU Kansas State, which. Got to go against the Spartans, but it definitely could happen. FAU, there's a chance they win.
I'm now sitting here though, like regretting that after watching how well State has played.
Right. Well, Kansas State has also played very well. Houston versus Texas in the Midwest, and then St. Mary's versus UCLA. So looking pretty good right now. There's some people that I don't know, but I'm still going to give you a shout out. So sorry that I don't know you, but thanks for being in the group. Tied with Easton is Jack Swartley. So shout out to Jack for being in second place. Then also tied with Easton is Low Tempo, which
feels like this.
Low Tempo, like you have Kansas winning the whole thing, like you have no shot of winning.
Yeah.
So you might as well leave the group.
Talk about low tempo.
Yeah.
Talk about low max.
More like low max score. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then Kennedy is tied for 5th place, but she's the ESPN fan too. Blah 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 blah. She's got Purdue winning the whole thing. So like
massive L out of Kennedy.
Humongous L. But I want to see if like. Is her Elite 8 like solid? I mean, she's got 5 out of 8 in the Elite 8. Yeah, not great. Chance Wells, he's a real guy, right?
Yep, real coach.
Tied for 6th place as well. So he's got a high max at 1550. He might be your biggest threat right now.
Yeah, he is. I'll text him. I gotta shoot him a text.
Let's see. His Final Four is Bama, Duke, who is out, and then Texas and UConn. So. And Duke is his only Elite 8 team that is out. Or no, Arizona too. So, but he's still got a 1550 max.
Yeah, that's a high max.
Last place, whoever that is, you are also tied for 6th. And Carter Fussman is tied for 6th. But he had Marquette winning the whole thing.
Oh.
So he's done for. Barry Hill, though, he's right there, tied for 9th. He's right. Oh, he had Kansas winning the whole thing, though.
Carter's a Michigan fan.
Oh, yeah.
Is, so I guess it makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. Wonder why he didn't pick Michigan to win the whole thing. And then just a couple guys that we know. Me, KG, Peyton Bukovich, and Booher are all tied for 11th here in this. And mine's still alive. I mean, oh, wait, no, that's the high tempo one. Shoot.
Oh, where's yours?
Mine is all the way down, tied for 20th place. But 1540 max, baby. You never know. My Final Four is Alabama, MSU, Texas, UConn.
It's a long tournament.
All still alive.
It's a long tournament.
It is. Shout out to my dad too. His is in here as well, and he's also tied for 20th.
Shout out your dad.
Who's in last? Bogue is in last. Is that like Bogue on your team?
Yeah, Nick Bogue. Yeah.
Well, I mean, his is bad.
Who'd he pick?
Kansas, but like his max is 460 right now.
What's his Final Four?
His Final Four is almost fully eliminated. Arizona, Duke, Kansas, Xavier.
Oh no, Bogue.
Oh, dude, his Elite 8's even worse. He's 3 for 8 on the Elite 8. Oh, Arizona, Duke, Providence, Iowa, Kansas, all done for. Sorry, Bogue. At least you got a shout out.
Yeah, shout out Bogue.
So if you want to be shouted out, hopefully you start getting some better picks in your bracket,
or be the worst.
There's two ways. It's too late now though. So
yeah.
I don't think anyone's passing Bogue for last place here. So All right, let's get into these games though. We're gonna predict each game. We're gonna pick one team that we think is like upset either for this week or just gonna go to the Final Four that maybe shouldn't. Just because I want to post something on TikTok about that. And then we're gonna make our Final Four predictions as well as of right now, just for fun. So let's get into it. The Thursday games start off with 3-seeded Kansas State taking on 7-seeded Michigan State. I'm going to give the lines for all of these games. Michigan State is actually 1.5-point favorites in this one. They opened as 1.5-point dogs, and that has moved. So we'll see what happens there.
And this is one of those moments as a podcaster. Yeah, that's right. I'm giving myself the title.
Okay.
Easton, coach, podcaster, boat guy. Where like, do I stick to my guns or do I go with what I actually believe? I'm going to go with Kansas State, and I'm not going to tell you which of the two I'm going with.
Okay.
Like whether that is sticking to my guns or what I believe. I'm saying Kansas State.
Gotcha.
It is sticking to my guns.
Yeah, this is going to be a really fun game. Obviously, I'm picking Michigan State, but Kansas State is a high-powered offense and just high-powered team in general. Obviously, Keontae Johnson has the whole storyline with him coming back this year, transferring to Kansas State, the leading scorer on that team. He's been very good all year. Then the small point guard, Marquise Noel, has just been phenomenal for this team. He was really trolling Kentucky in that game, hitting some deep threes, some tough finishes. He's going to be annoying to play against. You can already tell. Him and Tyson Walker both are from New York City, where this game is being played. So that should be really fun. Tom Izzo said that whole thing after the game about how Tyson Walker's buying him a cab ride and a big pizza with his NIL money. That's his thing always. Oh, these guys making all these NIL money.
It's so
He's
funny.
The biggest old head about that.
Izzo is so open about, they can buy me that stuff.
Exactly. He goes, he can buy me that with his NIL money or whatever. Like
Izzo is a high-paid basketball coach.
Exactly. But so I'm obviously taking MSU here, but this is going to be a really good game. Kansas State is playing at a very high level, and they played in the best conference in basketball this year. I think the winner of this game goes to the Final Four. Just an early prediction, but I'm going to take MSU. Next Thursday game we have in the same region, number 9 FAU taking on number 4 Tennessee. Tennessee is 4.5-point favorites in this one. I'm
really rooting for the Volunteers here, and I think this is the end of FAU's run. They got lucky. Getting Farley Dickinson, who got lucky getting Purdue.
Getting lucky as a 16 seed is crazy.
It's crazy, especially when you didn't win your conference tournament
and you had to play in the play-in game too.
But honestly, I'm hoping Tennessee wins this game just based on that dunk attempt at the end of the game. Not that is some huge deal. Like that is not a character issue of the kid or nothing. It
definitely is something that makes people mad.
It definitely is because it's technically not the right way. But and I don't dislike the kid or anything. But now I'm rooting for Tennessee, and I hope they blow them out because of it.
Yeah, FAU went from the team that everyone was backing to go on a run, which included you and I. We both had them going on a run. To now a team that everyone just hates out of nowhere because they wanted Farley Dickinson to win and that dunk at the end. That game was chippy too. They were going at it. Plus, we don't get to see that guard from Farley Dickinson anymore. Roberts, I think, was his last name. Dude was cold. I mean, yeah, he might have like missed a lot of big shots in the end of that game that could have costed him. But man, that dude is cold.
Yeah, for sure. And it really does suck that we don't get to see. I became a big fan of Tobin Anderson, and just like that, we saw how emotional he got in the press conference after.
Next Iona head coach got hired today, actually.
Oh, he got hired today.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Agreed to a deal with them.
And that was whose team?
Rick Pitino's
old
He's
team.
going to St. John's, actually. So he's back into the Power 5 scene. Or St. John's is Power 5. So he's back into the top of the top scene.
I would have expected Tobin Anderson to get a bigger job.
I would have too, but like you really do think about it, like that team like shouldn't have even been in the tournament. You know?
Guess.
Like I did think about it like that. Like it definitely. I mean, Iona is they've made the tournament the last so many years. It obviously probably has a lot to do with Rick Pitino, but being his successor is definitely a pretty big deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Shohei Ohtani up to the plate here in the bottom of the 5th. First pitch. Oh, he tried sending that one. So
you could do baseball. That was good.
Yeah, but I got a little too excited for a swing and a miss.
And the pitch in general.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the pitch.
Yeah,
As if the pitch is the exciting
one
part.
of these, we'll do a live Tigers game one of these days.
Yeah, we will.
I'll be the most low-key announcer ever.
And I can be your color commentator.
That works.
You call the game. I'll be the guy giving you color.
Giving the hot takes.
Yep.
All right. You're taking Tennessee, though.
Yeah.
I am going to take Tennessee as well. Yeah, I think this is when Tennessee looks good, despite having one of their top players go down. They played really good against Kentucky. That was a really fun game, and they knocked them out. So I'm gonna take Tennessee as well to go to the Elite Eight. Next on Thursday, I don't know which game is first, but I'm just gonna say this one first. Number 8 seeded Arkansas, after knocking off the reigning champions Kansas, is taking on 4 seeded UConn.
Oh, man, I don't know a lot about these teams.
UConn is 3.5 point favorites, by the way.
I know Anthony Black plays for Arkansas, and they've got that other, who's the guard? Nick Smith?
Nick Smith Jr.,
Yep. I don't even know it like a UConn player.
They have. I'm actually checking because I'm pretty sure I know his name, but I don't want to get it wrong just in case that I am wrong. But he was I'm pretty sure if he wasn't All American, he definitely was like Big East All First Team this year. Let me check just to make sure. Yeah, Jordan Hawkins. That's who I'm thinking of. Yeah, he had a really good year this year. He's definitely their best guy, but they're an all-around team.
Arkansas is coming off a big. I'm gonna take Arkansas. I'm gonna take Arkansas in this game. Don't know much about either team, so I'm not preaching here.
Arkansas has gone to back-to-back Elite Eights. Eric Musselman has proven that he is a tournament coach. This Arkansas team had high expectations coming into this year. They have potentially 4 NBA players in their starting lineup right now. Like, they are definitely an NBA loaded team. But they disappointed this year. They definitely, Nick Smith Jr. was a top prospect, going to be a top 5 pick. Got injured and he was hurt for a lot of the year, but he definitely has fallen. Anthony Black has emerged as the top pick from this team. But I like UConn. I think I have a lot of brackets with UConn going far. I don't think it ends here. But would not surprise me if Arkansas can pull this off because they have been so good in the tournament over the past several years. But I'm going to go UConn.
Otani ground out, by the way, but advanced the runner.
But here's Masataka Yoshida, the Red Sox newest outfielder. And he hit a 3-run bomb last night to tie the game up in the bottom of the 7th, which was pretty hype. So
runner on second. Here's the pitch. Ball outside. It would be so. I think that's got it. It's just such an easy
it's
sport.
Relaxing, yeah.
And you just quiet your voice down.
It's not very, yeah.
Really,
but then when a crazy play happens, that's when you freak out.
Yeah, you pull the mic away and go crazy.
And lastly, on Thursday, we have 3-seeded Gonzaga taking on 2-seeded UCLA, a rematch of the Final Four game 2 years ago. UCLA is 2.5 point favorites in this one.
Gonzaga, UCLA is what you said, right? Mm-hmm. I was focused on the game.
Yep.
This has got me interested. I'm a baseball guy.
It's a good game, man.
Hami Hawkins. Is Tiger Campbell still on this team? I'm going with
Amari
Gonzaga.
Bailey is the young freshman on this team as well.
I don't mess with UCLA. I just don't. I mean, you probably don't mess with them for the same reason.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mess with them because they beat us, and like they beat you. Yeah,
so they beat us that same year, right. And it was a bigger deal when they beat us because we were so far in the tournament that year. Was that Sweet 16?
See, that was Elite Eight.
Oh, Elite Eight.
I don't really hate them because we should have won that game. Like it was more of a we lost that game, and UCLA they played pretty good, but
if I have a reason to dislike State, it's not winning that game because it ended up screwing.
Yeah,
Michigan
but would have
over.
been worse for MSU to beat you because MSU would have been there. We weren't losing up to that point.
It would have been.
It definitely would. But we still need to see it at some point.
Yeah, we do. Oh, that'd be crazy.
That'd be wild. I'm gonna take Gonzaga in this one. Why not? Drew Timmy's still there. He's probably gonna be there again after this year. This is the most slept on Gonzaga team, of them all. They played a tough game against TCU the other night, and basically no one watched it because it was on so late at night. But I watched it, and it was a good game, and I'm going to take Gonzaga to win this one. Moving on to the Friday games, we're starting off with 1-seeded Alabama taking on 5-seeded San Diego State. This is the never mind. I was going to say it's the biggest line, but it's just not. Alabama, 7.5 point favorites in this one.
Give me Bama. Yeah. I mean, that's a huge line for March Madness.
Yeah, give me Alabama as well. This team is they're going to make their whole region has just gone perfect for them to make it to the Final Four. Not like they wouldn't have made it if certain things didn't happen, but yeah, give me Alabama for sure. Next, we have your 6-seeded Creighton Blue Jays taking on the 15-seeded Princeton Tigers. I think they are the Tigers. 9.5 point favorites here for Creighton. This is the biggest line of the weekend.
Yeah, it's over for Princeton. They're long shot, I think, at least. They did play well.
They're a good team.
That Longborg guy is a baller. It was whoever offense on it was actually offense on whoever is guarding him is what they were doing. It didn't matter what the matchup is. They were clearing it out and letting him go to work.
Guy's cold.
He was a dog, but I think this is the end for them. Give me Creighton.
Yeah, I believe this is also the end for them. But if they can be the first 15 to go to the Elite Eight, that'd be pretty freaking cool. But yeah, give me Creighton here, 9.5 points. They're probably covering it as well. Creighton-Bama's going to be a good one.
Oh yeah, that's going to be an awesome game. What was the team that was 16.5 point favorites earlier?
FAU over Fairleigh Dickinson was,
and that was a closer game.
Fairleigh Dickinson covered. So.
Yeah, very close game.
And I thought that FAU was going to cover. I luckily I didn't bet on it. Last two games, we have 1-seeded Houston they are at -7.5 against 5-seeded Miami. What are we thinking for this one?
Ooh, I'm going to go with Houston because they've got the experience. They've been there recently. They've had a really good program recently. They've been playing some really good hoops.
Houston versus Miami. I think Miami pulls off the upset here. This is going to be my big upset pick of the week. I think Miami looks really good. The ACC obviously is not represented very well in this tournament, but that game, I watched the game against Indiana. They played really well. I liked how they played. Isaiah Wong, their big transfer, was ACC Player of the Year, and he dominated in that game. Marcus Sasser's been kind of banged up in these past couple games for Houston. They're a really good team. I have them winning it in a lot of my brackets, but I think this is going to be my upset pick. I'm going to go with Miami here. Then lastly, we have 3-seeded Xavier taking on 2-seeded Texas. What do we think here? Texas is 4.5 point favorites in this one.
Give me Xavier. Took me a second. I'm going to go with Xavier. I don't know much about these two teams. I really don't.
Just taking Xavier. Jack Nunge was former Iowa big man. Played with Luka Garza. He's Xavier's big man now, so that's cool.
He's rethinking. Good. I'm kind of rethinking.
Never mind. Iowa. Never mind.
No, I'll stick with Xavier.
By the way, speaking of Iowa, shout out to Fran McCaffrey for still having 0 Sweet 16 appearances in his 13 years. I'm pretty sure at Iowa, and also Brad Underwood 0 Sweet 16 appearances in his years at Illinois.
Yeah, a couple of great coaches took you on 1 year.
Yeah. Tom Izzo has like 40 of them.
Yeah, so like those are quality programs.
Oh yeah, of course.
If you're a fan of those, you should be proud.
I'm gonna take Texas. I think Texas is legit. They have like 3 dudes on their bench that could be starting on every other team. So they're really deep. I'm gonna go with Texas. So that was basically it. Right now, let's pick the final 4. I have the quads split up here, so you can take a look at them. But let's pick our final 4 predictions right now. Who are the 4 teams that you got?
So I'm going to go Creighton, Kansas State. Going to go with Arkansas.
Okay.
And going to go with Houston. Those are my picks.
Gotcha. Interesting picks there. I like it. My final 4 predictions, I'm going to go with Michigan State, Alabama, Miami, and UConn. That's
totally different.
That's gonna be my final 4 predictions. I probably shouldn't have taken Miami. Probably should have taken
write those down.
/Xavier. Okay, so let me write
square or circle.
Oh yeah. That's a good point. I'll do mine for mine circle. Yeah, but then I have to write a key for which one. I'll remember. Dude. I'll remember.
I'm a square. Yeah. Like I'm just duller.
Plus, I'm picking MSU, obviously. So you pick K-State.
Yeah. Clearly, that's obvious.
I picked Bama. You picked Creighton. I'll just probably make that the TikTok I post, like us just predicting our final 4. I picked Miami. You picked Houston, right?
Yeah.
And
sorry.
then you picked
the dirtiest
Arkansas.
Pitch ever just happened. It was a crazy pitch.
And then I picked UConn. So, and then out of that, who's your national champion?
Creighton.
Yeah,
I mean, if your national champ's still alive, you just got to take him.
Exactly. And that's why I'll pick. Who is my national?
Just take State.
UConn was right. No, Texas actually is my national champ in the High Temple one, but I probably should have picked Texas then.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know. I'm picking Miami, though. I think Miami can go on a run. We'll go with them. All right. That's basically it for college basketball talk. We are going to do some trivia now. How far into this are we, by the way?
Like 50 minutes.
Okay, perfect. So I have 2 trivias for you because I made one, and then I was like, that might be a little too hard. I'll make one that's a little less hard. And then I realized the one that I made was going to be way too hard, so I scratched that one and made a different one.
So you made 3 trivias today, but
no,
2 of them are being used.
The one I actually never made. I just planned on doing.
Gotcha.
Like I already knew what it was.
I've got one of them that I think is going to be a little bit longer.
Okay.
It's got 10 answers.
Okay.
So
I have one that has 10 answers as well.
Okay. So you start still.
Okay, I will.
Since you have 2.
So this is the one that I made like afterwards because I thought it'd be fun. So I have for you. Can you name me the top 10 players in 3-pointers made of the last 10 years?
Oh, okay. I like
that
this
is from today's date to, what's today's date? The 21st? That is from March 21st of 2023 to March 21st of 2013. It's not just 10 seasons. So
cool.
So name them. Try to get no wrong here too, obviously.
Yep. Steph Curry.
Steph Curry is number 1.
James Harden.
James Harden is number 2.
Okay, I'm trying not to get any wrong.
Right. I get that.
So
you can take your time.
Who else is in here? Trying to think of guys who haven't been hurt and have been really good for a long time.
I will tell you also that every single one of these players is current. 9 out of the 10 players are currently still in the NBA. One of them is, but like, that's all I'm going to say.
Oh,
don't guess that guy right now. Like,
no. I'm not trying to. I just don't even know if this is a good guess. Like, I'm really trying to think guys who have been in the, because they probably have to be in the league for all those 10 years for this to happen.
Not all of them have been. I will give you that. Like a good amount. Like most of them have, and most if they haven't, they've been in for 7-8 years. But
I'm gonna go with a prolific 3-point shooter who is currently in the NBA, been in the league for 6 years. I'm going to go Trae Young. Trae
Young is not on the list. Yeah, see, that one was a little, I think this is like his 5th year or something, yeah.
That's so bad.
Yeah, that one's a little bit tough. I'm interested to see where he's at on this list, but I only wrote down the top 12, so.
Okay, the next guy, this is the guy that I think, but like this guy isn't a prolific 3-point shooter. I know he's been good for 10 straight years. LeBron James.
LeBron James is not on the list of top 10 3-point shooters. You got 2 right, 2 wrong.
Oh my god.
Okay, you can start. I mean, there's there's 3-point shooters on this list.
Like Klay Thompson.
Klay Thompson is number 4.
Okay, I just didn't know because the injuries. Like
no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I had no idea how to gauge whether or not. So JJ Redick.
JJ Redick is not on the list.
Okay.
Like I would not take injuries into account for any of these guys. Like it's 10.
KD.
KD is not on this list. Okay, I will tell you. Basically, every player on this list is a guard, with one being a guard/forward. Dame Lillard is number 3. So you have the top 4 right now.
Bradley Beal
was number 12 actually, so he just missed the list.
Okay, no, I'm thinking more. I mean, 3-point shooters at this point. Who've been around for a while.
So let me give you another hint here. Out of this list, I would say one of these guys is a superstar. 1, 2, 3 of these guys have been all-stars over their career. One of them hasn't been, but he's always been in that talk. And then 2 of them are just shooters that have never been all-stars.
And no big men.
No big men. All shooting guards, 2-point guards.
Okay. I don't even know where the gauge is.
All currently still in the NBA though.
Everybody still is currently in the NBA.
And one of them is kind of still in the NBA.
Yeah, I don't.
But you'll guess him last.
I'm not gonna think about that.
There's one outlier on this list. It's just you're never gonna guess him. You know him obviously, but you're never gonna guess him. The rest of these guys I would expect you to guess.
And I feel like such a stupid idiot right now. It's not even funny. Another shooter. I mean, this guy wasn't in the league long enough. That guy's not kind of in the league. These guys are all in the D-Book.
D-Book is not on the list. That's not a bad guess, though.
He's been in the league a long time.
He's got to be up there, yeah.
He's been in the league a long time, 7 years.
All the guys on this list have been in the league longer than D-Book. I will say that.
Okay. Paul George.
Paul George is number 5. He was the 2/3 guy. Yes, he is. He's the superstar guy that I said. So out of the 5 you have left, I would say 3 of them have been Only 2 of them have been all-stars, but 3 of them are in all-star talks for this whole time. 2 of them are just shooters.
Is Danny Green a terrible answer?
He's not on here, but like it's probably not that bad of a guess. The guys on this list are better than Danny Green.
Okay. Damn, man.
But one of them is like similar to Danny Green.
Yeah, like another like 3-and-D.
The 2 all-star players are both the point guards.
Okay.
That are remaining. If that helps.
Kyrie Irving?
Kyrie Irving is not, but he was. I remember seeing his name up on here. He was like top 15. I'm pretty sure.
Not Chris Paul.
Not Chris Paul.
Yeah. That's a bad guess. That wasn't even a guess. That was just bad.
Don't worry, I'll cut a lot of these.
Wrong
guesses.
Please. Point guards who are all stars.
Point guards.
Kemba
Walker is number 9. He was the guy that's like, he's in the league, but like he's not on a team. You know, that was him. Kemba Walker. This other point guard is definitely, you would not think of him, like you would think he is a worse 3-point shooter than Kemba Walker.
Like Kyle Lowry.
Kyle Lowry is number 7, yes.
I hate that guy. Not really, actually.
So number 6 is just a guy that I honestly thought would be guessed very early. He's just not been an all-star ever, but just a prolific 3-point shooter his whole career. Still is. Probably the best in the league, honestly.
Joe Harris?
Nope. Definitely a higher level 3-point shooter than Joe Harris.
Who's the...
Number 8 is the best player on this list, shooting guard. Never been an all-star, but definitely like been right there multiple times.
He's the best player on the list?
Mm-hmm. Like best player that you haven't guessed.
Left.
He has a teammate, longtime teammate that's also on this list. Don't want you to get too deep into thinking about that, but
no, I'm not thinking about it.
And then number 10 is the random one that I don't expect you to get.
Like Kevin Huerter, no. I'm trying to think of the best shooter in the league guy.
Like he's not like Steph Curry, obviously.
Yeah.
But like this guy's for sure top 5, probably top 3.
That's not Duncan.
No.
Is this guy who like only shoots threes?
Basically, yeah. Like this guy, I'm pretty sure is the number 1 player in the league in 3-pointers made this year.
Oh, okay. It's not Levine. Is Levine on the list?
Nope. That's a pretty good guess though. He's not on here. Probably just a little too young.
Is this guy a point guard?
Shooting guard / probably he's a wing.
He's a wing.
2/3.
He's one of the best 3-point shooters in the league. Is he on a good team?
They are average. He's on an average team.
Am I missing? I'm not missing an all-star, am I?
No. Well, you have one guy that's like never been an all-star, but like you'd think he would have been an all-star.
Jaylen Brown?
Not Jaylen Brown.
Too young. Tatum's too young.
Yep.
Anthony Davis is a big.
This guy has won the 3-point contest. I don't know how well you know that.
I just don't know the history stuff that well.
Yeah.
And I always think I know it better. Even when I go on like Sporkle
yeah.
and do those quizzes, I'm like, man, I know a lot less than I think I do.
This guy also like probably is top 10 3-pointers made all time too.
Oh my gosh. This is getting worse.
Right. But like you, a casual I'm not saying you're a casual, but like a casual fan would not know that this guy is like a top 10 3-point shooter ever. Like, cause he's never been an all-star. Like he just is a shooter.
He's
averaged 20 points per game. Like,
it's kind of pissing me off now. Like I'm getting upset.
I know.
Here.
Like I want to tell you it, but
I don't even want to concede. Who is the best 3-point shooter? It's not Melo. It's not. I mean, he's not even in the league.
Nope. Okay, I'll give you a big hint. This guy was an elite college basketball player. Like one of the best of the last decade.
Buddy Hield.
Buddy Hield is number 6. Yes.
Oh. That's just disappointing.
Yeah, I mean that's
just bad.
Yeah.
Who are the other two?
All right, the other two. CJ McCollum is number 8.
Okay.
And number 10 is Eric Gordon.
Really?
Eric Gordon is number 10. And I thought this was funny too because number 11 is Tim Hardaway Jr.
Oh, that's hard.
Isn't that pretty cool?
Hard.
Yeah. So I wrote him down as well because I thought that was cool.
There's so many weird parameters that go into the 10-year thing that you got to take into account. Age. I mean, who's been in the league for 10 years?
Yeah, because most all these guys have been. Buddy hasn't, but like it's kind of close. You know, like but he just makes a crap ton of threes. So that
I'd love to see the difference of the list if you went to 7 years.
Yeah,
and like see who's the top 10 in the last 7. Because I bet you Trae Young jumps up.
Trae Young probably jumps
Booker.
up. Like. But I wonder who falls out. That's what makes me think. Like does Lowry fall out? Probably not, right? Like he made a lot of threes. Like it's not like he was banging threes from 2013 to 2016, right? Like a crap. Like was he? I really don't know.
I have no idea. But those extra 3 years.
Kemba Walker for sure falls out.
Kemba
He for sure falls out.
I can't believe I guessed Kemba before I guess Buddy Hield.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Like, but Eric Gordon probably falls out too.
Yeah,
I don't know though.
I don't know what he's doing in Houston
because he was banging. That's probably when he hit the most threes.
I haven't kept up with his career in Houston.
Yeah,
like I don't care. They don't do much. Well, I guess they were good for the first few years he was in Houston. Like really good.
Yeah,
the best 3-point shooting team ever.
Yeah. All right, what you got for me?
The NFL draft is about a month away.
It is.
The Lions have 2 first-round picks. Back-to-back years. Pretty incredible. Last year, it was unexpected, and we ended up with 2 first-round picks.
Shout out Brad Holmes.
Can you name the last 10 Lions first-round picks?
Okay. Gotcha. So I just want to think about, like, I'm trying to think if any, like, we've drafted and been traded. I don't think so. So let's get last year. We're going to get J-Mo and Hutchinson out of the way.
That's correct. So, by the way, like, not the last 10 years, the last 10.
Yeah. So
that's the only year we have 2.
That was 2021, right? Or was that
2022?
Oh, that was 2022. Oh, so I got to think. Who is... I gotta think here for a second.
This is good.
Okay. 2021 was Penei Sewell.
Yep.
2020, Jeff Okudah.
Yep.
And we didn't have 2 firsts. We haven't had 2 firsts.
No,
I don't think, for
that
a while.
Only 2019.
Okay, that's what I thought.
The only year.
2019
So it goes back to 2014.
was T.J. Hawkinson.
Correct.
This is where I might mix up my years a little bit, so I'm just gonna guess the guys. Gerard Davis is, I think, 2017.
He is 2017.
Okay. 2018 is... Did we have a first-round pick in 2018? Okay.
Yeah, every year we have a first-round pick.
Okay. Yeah, I guess the Lions never traded one of their picks away. I know, like, all the ones earlier than this. I'm just trying to think of this 2018 guy. I'm trying to think where we would have been draft-wise. 2018.
This guy was taken not early first round.
Okay. That's what I kind of was thinking.
Later
I
first
remember all the early ones, basically.
If he was in the NBA, he wouldn't have been a lottery pick.
Okay.
So he's not top 14.
Gotcha. That's good to know. So let me get the other ones out of the way before I try and think about this one. So Frank Ragnow is in there, I think 2016.
He's 2018.
Oh, Frank Ragnow is 2018?
Yes.
Yeah. Really? That's actually crazy. Yeah, damn. I thought he was 2016. Okay. A lot younger than I thought. So Taylor Decker is probably 2016.
He's 2016.
Yep. How many more do I have left?
2. You're missing
2 left.
2015 and 2014.
So Eric Ebron is probably
number
2014. Oh, he's 14. Okay.
2015, I don't know who this guy is.
Really?
I have no idea.
Really?
Yes. I knew every other player, which made me feel really good. Like, I really did.
Yeah.
I was reading through this, and I was like, oh, yeah, I know who that is. I know who that is.
2015 Lions.
But you might know who he is.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's making me think he was a bust, which obviously we've had. Oh, no, is it Riley Reif?
No.
Riley Reif was probably 13. He was probably right before this.
This guy was taken 28th overall.
28th overall pick.
And he was
Lions.
a lineman.
He was a lineman.
I think he was a guard.
Like offensive line?
Yeah.
2015?
Yep.
I feel like that's not that long ago. Like, I feel like
it's 8 years.
I know it's weird that it's 8 years, but I feel like I should probably get it.
Like when I did the last 10 years, I expected to go back to 2010. I stopped at 2014.
Like it's not Graham Glasgow, right?
No.
I didn't think he was a first round pick. Yeah, I think he was like a third. This is a guy you don't know. I'm trying to think. I assume I know him, but maybe I don't.
You don't.
Like I vividly remember like every Lions draft though as a kid. Like
that's what I'm trying to give you a hint that isn't like so obscure, but is also helpful.
Like you said, what did you say? He was a 28th pick or just something?
28th pick.
Okay,
28th pick. He's got a weird first name, like definitely a name I've never heard of.
Yeah.
And his last name he shares with a stellar running back. Stellar historical running back, not current.
Okay.
Like a 2000s stud running back.
Gotcha. Oh, it's Laken Tomlinson.
Yeah,
yep.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, he was bad.
Like a bust?
Yeah, he wasn't very
good.
Is
he not in the league?
I don't think so, no. He might be like on a team.
Is Ebron still in the league?
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't think Ebron is actually. Yeah, now that you say that, I don't think Ebron is. That's actually weird to think about.
But going back through this, It's not terrible.
The Quintricia era did not draft as bad as you would think.
Yeah, I mean,
they drafted Frank Ragnow. They drafted Taylor Decker. They drafted T.J. Hawkinson.
Good players.
Yeah, they're good. Like, Jared Davis obviously was like a miss, but that draft just because the second round pick was Tease Tabor of that draft too. Like, that draft, exactly. Like, that draft just was bad.
We only took him because of his first name.
Was that 17?
Yeah.
But Kenny Galladay was in that draft, so I guess I'll give him that.
Led the league in touchdowns.
Boom.
Receiving
that is
touchdowns.
the Lions' top last 10 picks. Okay, last one I have for you. So what I was originally going to do was I was going to have you guess the runner-up of Rookie of the Year of the last, 5 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was just thinking about it. I was like, dude, he's not even going to remember, who the Rookie of the Year was.
No.
So I was like, do I give him the Rookie of the Year? I was like, now this is just becoming weird. By the way, Shohei Ohtani is running out of the bullpen, or running out of the outfield to, I think, come into pitch probably, right? Like, why else would he just be leaving in the middle of the... Oh, wait, no, wait, USA is pitching. Now I'm confused. I do know this reliever. This is Jason Adam.
Was he just running from the bullpen?
Ohtani came out of the... I don't know if he was out of the bullpen or outfield.
Well, he wouldn't have been in the outfield. USA is pitching.
Oh, yeah, duh, you're right. Yeah, he must have been coming out of the bullpen. Huh. I don't know. We'll see. But Japan's got 2 runners on here. Oh, my gosh. He almost got hit in the head.
He throws the ball weird. Or was
Yeah.
that the pitch?
No, that was a weird throw. But Japan's got 2 on here in the bottom of the 6, already up 3-1. This could get out of hand for the U.S.
Come on, America.
All right, the last one I have for you. So I decided to not do that, but I wanted to do something with rookies, you know? So I decided, can you name me the top 5 rookie leaders in points, rebounds, and assists this year? Total of each one. So, when you guess a guy and he's on here multiple times, I'll check him off for, obviously.
Oh, so there's what, 15?
There's 15 answers, but there's not 15 guys.
Gotcha.
So, go ahead.
Jalen Duren for rebounds.
Jalen Duren is second in rebounds.
Jaden Ivey.
Jaden Ivey is third in points and first in assists.
Wow. I guess.
Think about it, though. Who are the other guards?
Yeah, who are the other guards? Okay, let's go. Benedict Mathurin.
Benedict Mathurin is second in points, and that is it.
Is Keegan Murray up here? He's been having a good little stretch here.
Keegan Murray actually is not in the top 5 out of any of these.
He's had a good stretch of games, so I'm really surprised. I'm trying to go through the draft order in my head.
Yeah, definitely a big guy you're missing here.
Chet.
Like the rookie.
Paulo.
Yeah, Paulo Banchero is first in points, fourth in rebounds, and third in assists, making all 3 lists. Only player on here to make all 3.
Okay, so I'm missing 2 out of the scores.
Yep, 4 and 5 in points.
Is Jalen Williams on here?
Jalen Williams is fourth in points. He is fourth in assists as well. So you're missing 5th in points. You're missing 1st, 3rd, and 5th in rebounds. 2nd and 5th in assists.
I'm really trying to think of rebounders. Who be rebounding that ball?
If this helps, this guy is for sure first in blocks as well. If that helps.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, Walker Kessler.
Walker Kessler is first in rebounds.
Yeah, he's been a baller this year coming into the league, man.
Definitely.
He's been tough.
Very good.
Which is not a guy I expected to be that good
definitely
in the league.
Not,
okay, so you said 5th in points.
You're missing the guy that's 5th in points and 3rd in rebounds is the only top pick left, I would say.
Okay. 3rd in rebounds, so he's probably kind of big. So let's go through the draft order for me. Paulo, Chet, Ivy, Murray. Did I miss somebody in there? Did I miss the 4th pick?
You missed the 3rd pick. Ivy was the 5th pick. Murray was the 4th.
Oh, yeah. Who was the other? Jabari Smith?
Jabari Smith Jr. is 5th in points and 3rd in rebounds.
He's the other guy who's been heating up. I mean,
he's been having a really good push. I'm a big Jabari Smith fan. I actually do really like I like him a lot.
You've never stopped being a believer in Jabari Smith. And if anybody ever asked me.
By the way, he's been playing center too, because Sengun can't stay on the floor. He's looked good at center, man. That's all I'm saying.
It's not that Sengun can't stay on the floor. It's that who's their head coach?
Steven Silas.
Doesn't know how to use him.
Yeah.
No, he's such a bad defender. He's actually terrible.
Yeah, but they also suck with or without him being a bad
good
defender.
point.
So
good point.
Doesn't matter.
At some point, play him.
Yeah, exactly.
No, and if anybody ever said that you ever were a Jabari Smith hater, I would defend you.
Yeah, thank you.
I want you to know that. So who am I missing here?
You're missing 5th in rebounds. You're missing second in assists and fifth in assists. All three different guys. One of these guys was a second round draft pick. The guy who's second in assists was a second round draft pick. And then the guy who's fifth in assists was a top 10 pick, but you would not think he would be fifth in assists. You would probably think he'd be fifth in like rebounds.
Okay.
And then the guy who's fifth in rebounds is, I don't know how else to describe it. You definitely know these guys.
Yeah.
I just don't know if you're going to think of them. Bases loaded, by the way, for Japan with Lars Nootbaar up here.
2 outs. Here comes the pitch.
The 0-1.
Ball
high and away.
This is good. Like, this would be, you and I would have fun.
It just sucks because the people listening to this cannot, even the people watching cannot see the game with
Nobody understands.
Yeah.
Okay, back to what we were doing.
Yep. So
the second in assist is what I'm trying to get, because I'm guessing it's a person who is more so it's a direct, what is the word? Correlation of situation, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Like, did he somehow end up like Dyson Daniels?
No, he's sixth in assists, though. That's a good guess. He just missed the assist list.
Trey Murphy?
Trey Murphy is not a rookie. I was like, oh. This guy who's second in assists, it was a second round pick. He was a really good college player last year, but because of his age was a reason why he went so late. But definitely is having a much better rookie year than like anyone expected him to have.
Yeah, is he the guy that's been talking about recently about his like they shouldn't be looking at age when drafting players?
No, that was Isaiah Livers.
Oh yeah. Yep. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna get this.
This guy is. You want me to tell you what college he went to? Maybe because he was good in college. He went to Gonzaga.
He went to wait a second. Holy moly. Nemhard?
It is Nemhard, yes. Andrew Nemhard is second in assists.
That was the first name that came to my head, and I was like, no.
Yeah, Nemhard is second on the Indiana Pacers. He's definitely been having a pretty good rookie year for them. And they play a lot of guard, smaller wings, basically, on that team. So he is second in assists.
That's a fun way of doing it, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Like you give me the college.
Well, these other guys, I don't think it would help you if I gave you, like, these other two guys. If I gave you their college.
This is fifth and fifth?
Fifth and fifth. Fifth in assists, fifth in rebounds. Both are fours. Well, the rebounds guy is a 3/4. The other assist guy is definitely a 4.
Is Jalen Williams on here?
The other Jalen Williams? Yeah. No. The guy who's fifth in rebounds has a teammate that also has been on these lists multiple times.
So 2 rookies that they drafted.
Both teams that these guys are on, by the way, suck.
Terrible.
They're both on terrible teams.
Terrible. Tari Eason is fifth place in rebounds. Yes, he was the guy who has a teammate that's on this list. And the guy who's fifth in assists is on an even worse team than Tari Eason. Whoa. That team's got to blow. It's got to be like the Pistons.
And it's not the Pistons. So there's like only one other team. It's got to be
the Hornets.
Nope.
It's got to be the Bulls.
Nope.
They suck.
Nope. They not that bad.
Not that bad. The Spurs have...
They have a lot of rookies to pick.
Oh, man. Who did they take as a rookie?
They have actually 3 first-round rookies, but 2 of them are guards, and neither of the guards are on the assist list.
Oh, my gosh. Who could this be? Who is the starting... No way it's Jeremy Sohan.
Yeah, he is fifth.
Is it Sochan?
Sohan, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Sohan?
Yeah, he is fifth in assists. Total assists.
Yeah, I never would have gotten
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like who he is, but you're never going to guess it that he's on there. So yeah, that is the top 5 in each statistical category of rookies this year. Basically, Paolo Banchero making every list shows that why he's the rookie of the year.
This was a longer episode, so shout out everybody who made it to the end.
How deep are we in?
Hour 15.
Wow.
Same, so we back-to-back hour 10
We didn't even get to talk about Jaylen Brown coming to the Pistons either.
Yeah, what's going on with Boston?
Jaylen Brown is like not having it anymore, and they've been on a losing. They're like 5-5 in their last 10. They're now third in the East.
What makes him not having it?
They asked him. Well, did you see the whole talk about him talking about living in Boston?
Oh yes, about the fans.
About how the fans are. He doesn't feel comfortable being a black man playing in Boston and whatever. And then another thing came out on Twitter last night that was basically him saying, like, they asked him about staying in Boston long term. He was like, it was really candid. He was basically just like, I probably won't. He was like, Michael Jordan didn't stay with Chicago his whole time. He was like, everyone has to make decisions to move on in their career. And so and there's talk about Boston he's eligible for the Supermax this offseason. He's going into after this year, he'll have 1 year left on his deal. So do they look to trade him? I don't know.
He's not a guy who needs a Supermax either.
The Pistons would give him the Supermax.
We can't.
Well, I get what you're saying, but they would sign him to the Supermax and we could trade for it.
Yeah. Sure. No, you're right. Well, yeah, what I'm saying is he's so genius, he's such that smart of a guy.
Yeah,
that he doesn't need the extra money.
Neither does half the dudes in the NBA,
but they're not that smart like Jaylen Brown. This dude went to Cal. That is so interesting. That would be awesome. He could be the guy. Bam Adebayo could be the guy, or D-Book. Now we've got options. Mm-hmm. We could pass that bitch like Stockton.
But it's probably going to take another year because we didn't take the leap that we should have this year.
Yeah.
But Cade was out. So, All right, everybody. Go Team USA. They're down 1. They got out of it. They got out of the jam. Sweet. They're up to bat here in the 7th. Hopefully they can win. Yeah, shout out to you guys if you listen to us. Go check us out on everything. Go Green.
Peace.